will battle the Dominican Republic for 2025 baseball supremacy here. Welcome to El Nido de las Águilas Stadium, the Eagles' Nest in Mexicali, Mexico. This is the championship game in the Caribbean Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Minervini. Four-time world champion Jeff Nelson is with me. Mexico, Jeff, 5-0. They've run the table so far, but they run into a team that has won more of these titles than anybody else in the Dominican Republic here tonight.
Well, if you look at what Mexico did last year and then what they've done this year and how they've improved their team, their starting pitching is much better. Their bullpen has been outstanding. I like their bullpen so much better than Dominican. If it becomes in the late inning and that's going to be the decision maker, you got to go to Mexico. But Mexico also has a balanced lineup as well. I think they've improved that way with speed at the top. They have some power, even though they haven't hit a home run in this series. I still think they have a little bit of power, and then they have some speed at the bottom, and they play good defense. So over from last year to this year, a big improvement. Even though the DR has won tons of these championships, I like Mexico. I think they've been outstanding. Obviously, the 5-0 record. Both sides have great starting pitching. The last time these teams met in the Caribbean Series, they were both going in at 2-0, and Mexico won 2-0.
Mexico won a close game. Manny Banuelos is the pitcher here for Team Mexico. You saw his numbers, very good. The starters have been amazing. The Mexican starters are 4-0, Nelly, with a 0.93 ERA in the series.
Yeah, starting pitching, you can see if you look at some of the teams that just didn't get to this point, it's the starting pitching. And also the bullpen. I think it's the whole entire staff, but the starting pitching. If you come into the Caribbean Series, and we saw it last year when it was in Miami, the teams that have length in their rotation wind up getting the furthest. Banuelos, 33 years old. He's got 3 seasons in the big leagues. He last pitched in the big leagues in 2022. Atlanta, the White Sox, the Yankees, and the Pirates. In 2008, he was a huge prospect for the Yankees. Some injuries, and he just never could bounce back from those injuries. When he did face Venezuela's last start, 6 innings, 1 run. Both pitchers, both sides did not walk a guy, and they also don't strike out a lot.
There's Manny. He asked Derek Jeter and your pal, Mr. Marion, on the bullpen for an autograph back in 2012, and he kept that baseball. Was the first pitch he ever threw. He got it signed by the 2 Yankee legends, and you're, of course, friends and teammates.
Oh, I thought you said they were going to turn. They turned him down. I was like, no.
They did not. All right, look at the Mexican team and the beautiful red unis with all the advertisements that you see here in Latin American baseball as they try to run the table here and win for the 10th time overall. They have not won since 2016. They've won 3 titles overall in the last decade and 6 this century, but Dominican Republic has won 3 of the last 4 and 22 overall. Puerto Rico at 16, winning the second most Caribbean Series championship. It's been a long week. This is the 14th and final game. Both teams battled to get here through the round robin. And then the nice win for the Dominican Republic in the semifinal game. They won in 11 innings the other night against Venezuela, 5-4 to get to this point.
Yeah, DR's had a good lineup. What has given them problems, and we talked about it earlier, is their bullpen. Their bullpen is not that strong, especially over the last 3 games. They started 2-0, lost 2 in a row because of their bullpen, and just barely got by Venezuela to get here.
Junior Lake will lead it off. He's had a very, very good series of late, especially. He's been an active bat, and that's why they moved him up in the lineup. Not just they, but it's Albert Pujols, the future Hall of Famer, who's in his first year managing this team. Escogido is the team from the Dominican Republic that won their individual championship. That's what you have to do to get to the Caribbean Series, win in your league. Then they had some reinforcements. Bunt attempt, going to be tough to get him, and Lake's going to be safe with the bunt single. Ronaldo Rodriguez got handcuffed on that play. Good start for the DR.
Well, it's a great start and it's a perfect bunt because you have the lefty Banuelos. He's falling off to the third base side. He's not overpowering. This is where you want to bunt for the base hit. There you see Banuelos. He falls off, has a hard time, almost impossible to get over there to cover first. And the first baseman, Rodriguez, has to charge. No chance of getting Lake.
Well, it looked like Lake was almost out of the batter's box when he made contact with that baseball. That was close. But he'll take the bunt base hit to start it off, his 4th hit of the series. And here's Socrates Brito. He's been one of the best hitters of all, Nelly, in the series so far.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and he can run, too. He's got 5 stolen bases in this series, and I think he's taken everybody by surprise. You can see how big he is. He's not a small speedster but he can hit and he can also run. Also, he plays really good defense.
32 years of age. He is 10 for 21, hitting a series-leading .476, just a few ticks above Rudy Martin, who also is in the number 2 spot in the lineup for his opposition here, Mexico, tonight.
Well, if you're going to go off of Benuelos, it's going to go off the first move, especially a lefty. As soon as that leg gets up in the air, you take off. And you're going to have to keep the runners close. Both teams can run.
A chopper to second. Wolanski over to Mayfield for 1, and not in time to get the double play. They do get the lead runner. Now that you mentioned both teams can run, they each have 16 stolen bases and only been caught a couple of times, respectively.
Yeah, this is the only thing that I don't know if you would have turned this double play, but the ground ball to the second baseman, Wolanski, I would have liked to see a little overhand, like a dart, instead of that shovel pass from that distance. I don't know if you would have gotten Brito at first, but it might be a little bit quicker if you throw the dart over there instead of the shovel pass.
So Brito is aboard with 1 out. Here's Yamaico Navarro up for the Dominican Republic. He's hitting .316 in the series. No homers, 2 RBIs. Navarro debuted a while ago, 15 years ago with the Red Sox. He's 37 years of age. The veteran also played with the Royals, the Pirates, and the Orioles, but less than 100 games in the big leagues. Hit a couple of homers. You talk about professional baseball players, that's what you're seeing here. Most of these guys somewhere along the line have been with a big league team, either in the big leagues or the minors, but a lot of these guys have played for 15 plus years.
Yeah, and you can see the ages of, especially the Latin American players, are all going to be in their 30s, late 20s. Some of them trying to hope to get back to the big leagues or an affiliated team. A lot of them just love playing baseball, and they'll play for their country.
This guy here has played 19 years. Lashes one to right field. That's trouble into the corner. Brito will round second, head over to third. Nice job by Casey in right to hold Navarro to a single and keep a run from scoring as well.
Well, you look at it, it's a pitch on the outside part of the plate, supposed to be in. Outstanding job by Navarro, not trying to pull the ball. He goes the other way with it, hits it down the right field line. Just like you mentioned, Craig, outstanding job by Casey getting this ball in and keeping Navarro at first. First and third still sets up the double play for Mexico.
And here's a guy who needs no introduction at the plate for the Dominican Republic, although he's had a quiet series so far, and that is, yes, Robinson Cano, now 41 years of age. A reinforcement after having an outstanding season in the summer in Mexico and played for Estrellas during the Winter League season. Robbie has 1 RBI in the series, over 2,600 major league hits in 17 years.
No, he had a big base hit in the semifinal, and that was his only RBI of the series, only his second hit in the series.
Did you cross paths at all with Robinson Cano?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think my last year was 06. I'm not sure when his first year was.
Throw to first. Keep an eye over there. He was originally signed by the Yankees in 2001. In fact, just like his dad, Jose, 21 years prior. His dad got to the majors briefly with Houston back in 1989.
Now, look, Navarro doesn't run real well. You know, you have the first and third situation, 1 out. A lot of times catchers won't throw down to second. But because Navarro doesn't run, if he happens to steal a base, I think Hurtado can throw him out.
Nice play at third by Gil. Comes to the plate. Hurtado will run him down and tag him out. Nicely done. I guess Gil feels like he could not have gotten the double play on the backhand. So he gets the lead runner and a big out there.
Well, it's a heck of a play. Cano almost hits this one right down the left field line. You watch this pitch on the outside half. He goes the other way. you're going to break on contact, because if you're the runner, you're thinking they're going to try to turn 2. I don't blame him for running. I'm not saying he's got to go all the time. I mean, especially with one out, you're going with contact, and the infield was back. That's a great heads-up play by Gill to get that lead runner and cut down the early run.
That's a great play all around, because you certainly don't want to see a double play. So Brito goes, forces the issue for Mexico. If they want to go that route, fine. They're still alive here with Gutierrez. Do you think he would have had a shot?
I think he would have, because Cano doesn't run well. You know, he's an older player. He's 43 years old. I think that it was as hard as that ball was hit. I think you probably could have went to 5-4-3. But still, you can't blame Gill for going home and getting that run and cutting it off.
You're right, Nelly. I took away 2 years. His agent had called me at, said he was 41, but you're right, 43 years of age. Field, but he still gets the out. He threw it over to Wolanski. And so Mexico darts out of some trouble here in the top of the first. Good to have you aboard with us. The Caribbean Series Championship game from Mexicali.
5% cash back on whatever category I choose.
Alignment here for the Dominican Republic. A change at shortstop. It's going to be Jonathan Guzman. We just got word moments ago who's going to go in and play shortstop here for the Dominican Republic in place of Gustavo Nunez. Adames, Cano, Navarro in the infield. Brito, Liberato, Lake in the outfield, and Francisco Mejia will do the catching for the righty Esmael Rogers. Esmael is 39 years of age. To Billy Hamilton, longtime big leaguer.
Yeah, Rogers did a nice job. He also faced Mexico 6 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, did not walk a batter, and struck out 4. Really good two-seamer, has good changeup, good breaking ball. Spent 7 seasons in the major leagues, 210 games, 43 of those were starts with Colorado. That's who he started with. Cleveland, Toronto, and ended up with the Yankees.
Count of 1-2 on Hamilton, who's also had a very good series. He left the game the other day early in the game. Has been battling a virus and some flu symptoms. But good to see him back in. Mexico had a day off yesterday when they had the third place game. Great breaking ball by Rogers for the strikeout.
Seemed like a lot of guys, or a few guys, have been coming down with that bug. Maybe that was one of the reasons why Guzman's in there for Nunez. Really good breaking ball. Fastball only about 88. I mean, you're not going to see an overpowering fastball from Rogers, but that good 12-6 can really keep you off balance. And he has a really nice circle change as well, down and away to lefties, into righties.
Rogers in his second ever Caribbean Series. He pitched for the DR 2 years ago and won both of his starts. In his 14th season playing Winter League baseball and 19th overall as a professional. Rudy Martin having an outstanding series. Count of 1-1. He's 8 for 17, hitting .471. There's the numbers for Rogers this year. 39-year-old from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic to Martin. Ground ball backhanded by Navarro, and a good play by Yameko to get the speedy Martin.
Real nice play by Navarro. A nice job by Rogers getting over there. Martin can run, but he wants to take it himself, Navarro, and beats him down to the bag. Nice job, 2 outs. You want to keep these guys, especially on Mexico with Hamilton and Martin, you want to keep them off the base paths.
Here's Michael Wolanski, Nelly. We talked with him the other day, and he said, boy, it is special to be here as the home team. Tremendous advantage. You could feel it when you're walking around town. And when you're coming to the ballpark, everyone wants you to win. This is for not just Mexicali, but the entire country. This is a big deal. You played winter ball.
Exciting. Yeah, you know, I never played in something like this, but you play in Puerto Rico during the season and also Venezuela a little bit.
Ground ball to third. Adames makes the play. Nice, tidy 1-2-3 inning for Rogers as we go to the second in the championship game of the Caribbean Series.
It's a hard conversation
of the winter leagues in Latin America, Japan was an invitee to these series this year. This has been going on for 75 years now. They have crowned 67 champions. A few years they did not play the series. As Francisco Mejia hits a ground ball, that's a base hit. And that's the third hit already for the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, Mejia's had a really nice series. Switch hitter, catcher. His fifth hit. He's done a really nice job. Just gets a first pitch breaking ball from Benuelos. Just goes down and gets it, hits it in the hole.
DR's been aggressive at the plate.
They have, Benuelos, it's always that first inning that starters start to settle in, or if they start having a hard time to settle in and then they get a little bit more comfortable. I mean, you like to see the ground balls. That one just found a hole.
Christian Adames is the batter. Shows bunt. Ball gets away from Hurtado, the catcher. And they don't need a bunt to move up Mejia. As he goes on the likely will be a wild pitch.
I don't know. It might be a pass
Think
ball.
so?
Let's watch where this is. It's something inside. Yeah, that's a wild pitch. Got away from him. I thought maybe it might have clanked off of Hurtado's glove.
Runs have been at a premium. The question here is going to be, are they going to move him over to third here or allow Adames to swing? He's 2 for 10 in the series. Takes that one inside. Mexico has given up, Nelly, only 5 runs in the 5 games.
Yeah, and the DR has had a hard time moving those runners over to third. They either pop up into the infield, strike out. They haven't done a great job with runners in scoring position. And especially when they've had leadoff men in scoring position, they've had a hard time getting them in.
2-0 pitch. That's fouled off right by the first base coach, Tony Diaz. Then Mejia will retreat.
That was a nice job by Adames. Benuelos, again, another fastball. It's not overpowering, so you may have a better shot of shooting that the other way. Adames tried to shoot that to the right side, get the runner over to third.
He's got 2 RBIs so far in the series. Now shows bunt. Did he go? No, says our first base umpire, Robert Nunez.
And that's not sacrificing. That's more trying to bunt for a base hit. And if you want to try to bunt this ball, you got to bunt it down the third baseline. You see the first baseman, Rodriguez, he is crashing once he sees them square around. Gil is playing deep, the third baseman for Mexico. That's where you have to bunt it.
Good hitters count, though, 3-1. That's over for a strike, full count. Delphin Colom is the home plate umpire. Felix Tejeda at second. Jesus Lopez Miller at third. And for the championship game, outfield umpires, Felix Neon in left field. Michael Salazar is the right field umpire. Hey, pitch coming. Fouled back.
And it seems to me that Adames, the 2 times that he did square around, he may be doing it on his own. Because if you're going to try to sacrifice, you got to get that bat out early. There's no sense of trying to bunt for a base hit unless that's what you're trying to do. If you're sacrificing, you got to get that bat out early.
Adames, the number 7 hitter in the lineup for Albert Pujols. And the Dominican Republic, Escogido, winning their playoff to get here. Strike 3 called. Benuelos with a huge strikeout.
That's a big pitch. This is a 4-seam fastball on the inside part of the plate, and it just locks Adames up. After cutters and some breaking pitches, he throws some heat. 93.
I'm giving him 94, Nelly. 0.5.
All right, 94.
Don't rob the guy.
I'll round up. I'll round up.
You took mathematics. You round up. Actually, they said 0.6 there in second look. Here's Luis Liberato. He's the number 8 man. Has not had an RBI in the series. He's 4 for 15. Lefty-lefty matchup takes the strike. Nelly, the Mexican starters have given up just 3 runs in over 30 innings now, and they've walked only 4.
Yeah, that's why it's so important when you get early guys on base in scoring position, you have to get them over. Manufacture a run, especially against a team that doesn't really give up a whole lot. You mentioned the numbers there. The Mexican staff has been great.
DR hitting under 200 with runners in scoring position. A 1 pitch, fouled back. Long looking for the signs. A lot of disagreement for Banuelos. Let's see what he comes up with on 0-2. That's a good breaking ball.
Well, no pitch com here in the Caribbean Series. Everything's traditional signs. Saw Japan, if you ever saw them on TV, they were going with touches. They didn't have the 1, 2, 3 wiggle. Everybody else is traditional signs. A lot of times, man on second, you'll go pitch starters, or some pitchers go with outs. How many outs? They'll go sign after 2.
Liberado's pitch fouled back. Would you have liked the pitch com yourself?
I guess. I mean, it wouldn't
Get used to
matter.
it?
Yeah, you get used to it. I mean, we were used to with the fingers, the 1, 2, 3 wiggle, and got me every time a guy got on second, sign after 2. And then if you shook off, it was first sign.
When you say sign after 2,
the sign, well, when he puts the 2 down, whatever
okay.
signs afterwards, that's what he would, he's suggesting, and then you shake him or you go with that pitch.
Fans were looking for it, but it was outside. Did not get the call from Delfin Colon.
Well, nice job. A couple breaking balls from Banuelos, and he tries to come back with that 4-seamer again. Just misses outside.
But a competitive look because it had the appearance of a strike. Good pitch. Time at the plate. No limit. Sort of old school baseball without the pitch clock. They do have the disengagement rule, and there are challenges.
And that's going to be a disengagement because the catcher called timeout and did not go out to visit.
1-2. That's away now, 2-2.
Well, you'd like to see Banuelos come inside, and that opens up the outside part of the plate. When you had him 0-2, it would have been a perfect time to, 4-seamer inside. If you miss, great. Miss in, get him off, and then you can go back down with that breaking ball, or you could even gone out with that 4-seam fastball. But going inside opens up the outside part of the plate.
Liberato in his first Caribbean Series of his career, 29 years of age. A reinforcement, ground ball shortstop. Charging is Mayfield. A little bit of a low throw, and Rodriguez handles it. Runner does go to third, but 2 men away.
Well, good heads-up base running by Mejia. The ball wasn't hit that hard. No chance for Mayfield to go over to third to get the lead runner. He threw a changeup over to first. You watch it, not hit real hard. It's hit behind you. You're not going to try to make that play at third and risk Mejia being safe. A little changeup over there. Nice pick, almost a bad throw.
Ray Rodriguez over there at first. Here's Jonathan Guzman. He was a late addition to the lineup for Gustavo Nunez. Rips one up the middle, but grabbed there by Mayfield. And again, Mexico gets out of trouble. Another runner left in scoring position for the DR.
Want your car's paint to look like this? Well,
Bill Rogers for the start here. Big breaking ball from the veteran right-hander to Mateo Gil. Gil is 2 for 19, does have 3 RBIs. He's the son of manager Benji Gil, the former major leaguer who's had quite a run here in Mexico, now 52 years of age, winning championship after championship here. He's won 5 of the last 6 or 7 in Mexico in their regular league. Another big breaking ball, and did not get the call.
You can see how nasty that curveball is, 72 miles an hour.
You want that pitch?
And then I would want it, absolutely.
I don't mean in your repertoire. I mean, you want a strike right there.
Yeah. I don't think I could throw that.
Here's Gil. He looks at that one. Now 3-1.
Well, Benji Gil was a really good player. I played against him when he was with the Angels and also the Texas Rangers. And you had to figure if they're managing in this type of atmosphere, Albert Bell on the other side. We've already heard Albert Pujols.
Yep.
Is already interested in, hey, if there's a big league job, I would love to have it. I'm sure Benji Gil is probably the same way.
His son gets aboard on a 5-pitch walk. Gil said the other day that he's had to face some great managers in Pujols, the Hall of Famer to be, in Yadier Molina.
Henry Blanco,
legends. And he said regarding Pujols and Molina, not to belittle them, but I have more experience as a manager than they do. He said in the presser this week. Benji's 52. He's already won 5 championships, considered the second most successful manager in the history of the Mexican Pacific League. He's managed the WBC team, and he's trying to put a first here for Jalisco. They have never won this championship.
Well, I know he's coached with Anaheim. I think he might be still with their organization. He's a heck of a coach. I mean, middle infielder coming up to the big leagues. Benji Gil was. Really solid player.
Jack Mayfield is up. Jack has 2 RBIs, 3 for 16. Gil won the World Series in 2002 with the Angels. He was a first-round pick back in 1991 for the Texas Rangers, number 19 overall.
Well, 2-0. This is a great chance for a hit and run and go the other way. Probably going to get a fastball.
The only one thing Gil hasn't done, he's 0 for 4 here with Tomateros, the team that he had in Culiacan. He was 0 for 4 here when he got his team to the Caribbean Series. He switched teams, and ironically, that's the team they had to beat in an exciting series, 4-2, to get to the Caribbean Series this year. They beat Tomateros. There's a strike, 3-1. One of the highlights of the league championships are making national appearances. Video run in the United States. Runner goes, and it gets through off the glove, actually, of Cano.
He may have got him if he catches this ball. The throw looked like it was on time from Mejia. This is a fastball right down the middle. Great job by Mejia getting rid of it.
Yes.
Cano, all he has to do is catch it. Here's a veteran second baseman and probably put a million of these tags on. Hit him right in the heel of the glove. Well, the DR had the leadoff runner on second. Couldn't do anything with it with nobody out. Let's see if Mexico can do something with this.
Was a strike, full count on Mayfield. Mexico has done a good job in these spots of getting these runs home. They haven't done a lot of hitting overall. That ball's in the crowd. But they're hitting the nearly 300 runners in scoring position. 13 for 44 coming into this game.
Well, if you look at the last time that they met, they were both 2-0, and it was a 2-0 Mexico win. You got to figure runs aren't going to be at a premium here. So you think early runs, the pitching is so good, and especially with Mexico, Benuelos give you 5 or 6, and then you hand it all over to that bullpen. But an early lead for either team could be huge in this final game.
Let that one go, ball 4. The other thing we've seen, Nelly, in this series, and it is a baseball story, you make mistakes like the one Cano made. Sometimes they don't show up on the scoreboard. The teams are making you pay, and especially in a one-game winner-take-all, win the series or not. You don't have a 7-game series.
Yeah, that's a surprise by Cano as well. That ball was definitely on time, hit him in the heel of the glove. He makes this play 9 times out of 10. It's a caught stealing, and he got 1 out, and maybe it's a little bit different story with Rogers facing Mayfield. Ornelas is not a guy that's going to bunt.
He's a power hitter. He hit 2 homers in Game 1 last year in the Caribbean Series in Miami, in Curacao. This is his 3rd straight Caribbean Series. The last 2 as reinforcements. And again, if you're new to this, basically they bring their team here. Escogido won their league championship, and then they add players called reinforcements. 5 players, 10 to go up to 10, I believe, from around the leagues. Big breaking ball cut out and missed.
So it's almost like an all-star team. If you're going to go in, you probably have a roster of 20, 25 guys, maybe a little bit more, and then all of a sudden you can change half of them out.
You can add a bunch. Some teams have, some haven't. Ornelas is one here that he actually played for Jalisco this season. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout there for Rogers.
Yeah, big out. And Ornelas is not someone that's going to sacrifice. There you see how nasty that breaking ball is. That starts up around your letters and ends up on the ground.
How important is it for him to throw that as a strike for the hitters?
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, because he got away. Well, I think he got a gift on the first pitch fastball, then a couple breaking balls. But a great job of noticing that, hey, Ornelas is not seeing the break and not seeing the spin, going right back to that pitch for the big strikeout. But he has that ability to throw for a strike.
Reynaldo Rodriguez, the hitter. That's out of the zone. He's the first baseman. No RBIs in the series. He's 3 for 14 overall. Mexico has run the table here. They've won all 5 games they've played. Last year in Miami, they were 2-4. They started with a win over Puerto Rico a week ago, 8-1, and have not looked back. Fastball is on the corner.
Yeah, good pitch. And you can't get in trouble. As good as that breaking ball is, you can throw it for strikes, and he has the ability to do it, but you don't want to get in trouble when you're getting behind with it. And then the next thing you know, the fastball's 88. So it's not something that's 95 to 97 that you're saying, okay, here it is, try to hit it. You're going to have to spot that fastball like that last pitch.
Breaking ball missed. 1 and 2 on Rodriguez. Another good bender from the pitcher, Esmil Rogers.
I mean, you have your fastball at 88. Your curveball is anywhere from 72 to 76. And that's huge when you're trying to keep, and that's the idea, keeping those hitters off balance.
Nobody drove in more runs for Jalisco than this man, Rodriguez. He had 49 ribbies this year. Second on the team was Ornelas with 32. He's looking for a couple of big ones here. That's ripped down the left field line and curving foul. Jesus Lopez Miller gets a little action there. The umpire.
And that was a breaking ball that stayed up in the zone. There you see Rodriguez out on his front foot, but he sees the spin, and it's a hanger. He was just out in front of it a little bit too early.
Yankees signed him as an international free agent way back in 2006. He's now 38 from Cartagena, Colombia. One, two, you knew that was coming. Kept in front. Good job by Mejia. No advance. Two years ago, Rodriguez played for his home country in the Caribbean Series, Colombia, a invitee that year, and they won the championship here. He went 13 for 26 3 years ago in his third series. Long look by Rogers. Rodriguez finally calls time.
Yeah, no pitch clock. So if you're a pitcher, you can do that all day long.
I was surprised Rodriguez waited that long to call time.
Yeah, he's only been fastball and curveball, and he had about 4 or 5 shakes that he didn't like the pitch or the location. And a lot of it is just trying to get that hitter on the heels, try to get the runners on their heels.
A noisy sellout crowd again here in Mexicali. Pitch is out of the zone. Count of 3-2. Rodriguez keeps walking as if the at-bat is over. Full count. Where's he going, Nelly?
Maybe just walking around and thinking a little bit.
Gather? Maybe looking for one of those nice beverages they have here in Mexicali.
I think you got to look fastball here and look something outside.
Rogers has walked 2 in this inning. Gill is on second, Mayfield on first. 1 away here in the 2025 Caribbean Series Championship game. Fastball fouled straight back, almost right to the area where that fan's been holding the DR flag here for the entire series. Aguilas, that's the home team here in Mexicali during the summer and winter leagues. There's Albert Pujols, the manager. Placido Polanco is his bench coach. Albert having a great time telling us the other day how his team has really battled this year. Got off to a great start, tough December, and got hot in January. Albert was saying they went 16-5 to start the year, and then they won only 2 games in the first 3 weeks of December.
Yeah, he thought it was easy.
Right? Yes.
Wow, this is easy managing.
And he said, quote, when these things are going bad, these fans want to hang you.
Yeah,
they
don't
take
care.
it seriously.
They don't care who you are.
It's Albert Pujols. Payoff pitch. Fastball driven deep. Right field. It'll be caught by Brito and no advancement. He's good at defensive outfielder.
Well, good battle between Rogers and Rodriguez. And Rogers, 3 fastballs in a row. Just shows you that fastball, even at 88, can play.
So Donovan Casey now with 2 outs will try to drive in the first run of this game. He's got 2 ribbies in the series, 1 for 10 overall. Outfielder from Stratford, New Jersey, out of Boston College. For some of these guys, this will be the biggest game they will play in if they do not make the major leagues in terms of excitement and attention, not only in the Latin American countries, but obviously in the United States on MLB Network, in Canada, and around the world.
Yeah, you wonder. You saw some guys last year in Miami that they got signed out of the Caribbean Series. You wonder how many guys are going to get signed out of this year, out of Mexicali.
He reached AAA Rochester. That's the highest he's ever played in terms of the minors, back in 21 and 22. And talking to some of the players, they were saying they're getting calls in Texas from all their friends there that are flipping around and catching them on television.
Well, this is a big deal. And, you know, you look at the fans and how much they get into it in Miami and Lone Depot Park. It was a madhouse. It was so exciting. A lot of the games were almost sold out. Even a couple of them were sold out. And even in Mexicali, I mean, the fans really have a passion for this Caribbean Series.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Throw to second just to check on Mateo Gil. Well, Nelly, if you were a Hollywood producer and you were trying to put the matchup together, you'd pick the host country in Mexico. And you'd probably pick the team that's won more than anybody else in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, when I had these two teams earlier, really good balanced lineups. Now the bullpen, I would give the edge to Mexico over Dominican, especially over the last 3 games where the DR's really struggled late in the ballgame.
2-2 count on Casey. That was a 2-0 game that you did with Doug Wright on Sunday. Mexico won that game. The DR then lost their game on Tuesday, despite having a 5-1 lead on Puerto Rico, and really had a scrape in the semifinal game in 11 innings to beat Venezuela 5-4 to get here.
Well, I think the DR got lucky in that semifinal game against Venezuela. Venezuela made some really poor base running mistakes, had a lot of opportunities to put the game away, to go ahead and only keep it at a 9-inning game. They just squandered a lot of runners in scoring position, and luckily it did go extra innings. They even had runners on second and third in that 11th inning and could not put one across.
Blocked again by Mejia. These teams have been very aggressive on the base paths. Mentioned all the stolen bases. But so far, the catcher's doing a good job keeping the ball in front and really making you think. And every out is so precious here. Nobody wants to get thrown out in a key spot. We've seen some sloppy base running, though, from some of the teams here throughout the series.
We have, and both offenses with Mexico and the DR have really made the starter work. You look at 40 pitches here through an inning and 2/3. Rogers had a really quick first inning. He's been battling here in this second.
Look at Robinson Cano coming in there. That is the beauty of having, and we checked now, we're going to put him at 42. 42 years old. Wearing number 22. But that's that veteran leadership to come in, kind of lead the way with Mejia, the catcher, also chatting with Rogers. Paid pitch to Casey. Hit in the air, and again curving into the sellout crowd here in Mexicali at the Eagles' Nest. Mexico has won this championship 9 times, only 2 of those times in their home country back in 2005 and also 2013. Staying alive on that tricky breaking ball. Question for Rogers, does he want to throw that nasty hook that maybe even comes out of the strike zone, but looks tempting?
Yeah, you wonder, everything's been away. And he was able to get Rodriguez with the fastball, get him to fly out to right. Do you want to try to come inside here and lock him up? Because I think the hitter, Casey, he's looking for something away. You might be able to sneak a fastball in.
He's walked 2 in the inning, and this is another 3-2 pitch. And that ball is inside. He did throw the breaking ball, and he has walked. The bases loaded. Gill goes to third, Mayfield to second, Casey's on at first, and here is Hurtado, the catcher.
Well, they're going to go out and talk to Rogers again just to settle him down a little bit, get him a breather. He's really labored through this inning. If you're Hurtado, the hitter for Mexico, I would just let him and say, hey, you want to throw that breaking ball, show me you can throw it for a strike, and I'm going to try to sit on a fastball here. I would try sitting on fastball this whole at-bat. Rogers had a hard time throwing that breaking ball, especially in this inning, 4 strike. It's been more of a swing and miss pitch for him.
Alex Concepcion, the pitching coach, chatting away here with Rogers. As Nelly mentioned, an easy first inning, 1, 2, 3, but trouble here. Hurtado, a very productive year, and he had 4 home runs in 6 seasons overall in winter ball, and all of them were this year. Played for Jalisco, 52 games, hit 248. And at his busiest winter season ever, he batted almost 160 times. Switch hitting catcher from the left side. Running over there was Adames. Did he make the catch? He did. What a catch by Christian Adames near the netting.
Well, his first pitch fastball was just out of the zone. Adames, a heck of a catch to bail out the DR. You watch this, he goes all the way to that screen.
Over the head, basket style. I'm actually reaching out. That's an amazing catch by Christian Adames. And that leaves the bases loaded here in the second. Game. Hope you've been with us. Caught some great Latin American baseball over the last 8 days and evenings. Got a doubleheader every day, except for
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Was it yesterday? Yes. Yesterday was the third place game. You're right. Semifinals were Wednesday, which would mean there was no doubleheader.
Exactly.
And none today.
Wow. You're catching on.
It's taking me a while. 1-1 the Lake. Junior Lake. He has a homer in this series with 3 RBIs. 4 years in the big leagues, Cubbies, Orioles, Blue Jays. This is his 8th Caribbean series. First one was in 2016. He's a guy that they just try to get on the club no matter who is in there for the DR.
Well, these guys love.
Which he hit the big homer that was seen around the world that sent Albert Pujols' team. Runner goes. Throw is not in time. Lake diving in there with the stolen base. 17th steal for the DR here in the series.
Well, big jump in. Against the lefty, you're going first move. As soon as that front foot lifts off, that back heel, they're taking off. And a heck of a jump by Lake to get into scoring position. Now, again, DR has to do something with it. They weren't able to do anything with it in the second inning.
Yeah, they were 0 for 5 so far with runners in scoring position. 10 for 53 now in this series. There's a strike. The Mexico pitching staff has allowed only 3 hits now in 24 chances with runners in scoring position. But this has not been easy here for Banuelos. He's been working out of jams since the get-go, and we're only in the 3rd inning. Two-one on Brito. Gets away. Lake will go to 3rd. Brito leads the Caribbean Series in hits with 10, and he's certainly an MVP candidate.
Well, I think we're starting to see both pitchers on both sides pay way too much attention to the runners. I know Lake can run, but you have to concentrate on the hitter. You see Benuelos really taking his time and looking at Lake at second. I know you want to vary your looks so the runner doesn't get a jump or get an idea of that rhythm that you're getting into going home. But again, you have to concentrate on the hitter.
Did he offer it that? No, it's ball 4, and that's the second consecutive walk. Only the 6th from the Mexican starters here in the series overall, and now 6 starts.
Well, you saw the infield in for Mexico. I imagine the corners would stay in on the grass. The middle infielders, the second baseman, the shortstop, they'll probably play about halfway. I think anything hit to them, they give up the run for a double play. But also watch Brito. He can run. First and third situation. You're going to have to keep him close. I'm sure that's what they're talking about now.
Brito's tied with Billy Hamilton with 5 stolen bases for the lead in the series. He's been caught 1 time. Nobody out here. Julio Cesar Miranda, the pitching coach. If you're Hurtado, Lake has good speed. What does he throw through the base?
Well, there's a couple plays. There's like 3 different plays that a catcher will put on, and he'll go and do it right here. A lot of it is he'll fake to second and then throw to third. We saw that happen during the series, and the catcher overthrew the third baseman, and it went into left field, and it was a big mistake. Another one is they'll throw down the second. The middle infielders will come in and cut that off to try to see if Lake will break, or they'll just throw through and try to get the runner at second.
Yumeko Navarro has 2 RBIs. He is 7 for 20 in the series. Takes a strike. Dominican Republic has not scored against Mexico now in 11 innings. Lost 2-0 in the ball game on Sunday to Mexico. That pitch is inside. Maybe not quite as inside as it appeared from the Navarro buckle.
If I'm Mexico, I'm probably playing that infield back just to play. The corners will stay in just to get the double play. You got to have confidence in your infield. There you see that the infield is back. They'll give up the run for 2 outs.
If Brito stays on first, 1-1 pitch. That one flying out of the hands of Navarro. 1-2.
That looked like a cutter inside. That was in his kitchen.
Went over the netting, it appeared. You're watching the 2025 Caribbean Series. Live from Mexicali, Mexico, just to the south of the California border. Northern Baja, California.
I think it hit the net, went in the dugout. It was a good toss, though.
Going to first. Runner got back. Robinson Cano standing on deck for the Dominican Republic. They have had opportunities in each of their 3 at-bats so far. Had 2 aboard in the first and third. Had the runner over at third in the second as well. And now first and third.
That's the second disengagement. Next time he throws over, he has to pick him off. And this advantage Brito right here, especially with a lefty. He might be able to get a good jump and get the second.
2-2. Runner does go, and Brito is in there without a throw. So second and third.
Yeah, big jump. And as a left-handed pitcher, when you have your two disengagements, it becomes the advantage to the runner, especially if you can time that leg kick and you're in a count that it's usually an off-speed pitch. So big advantage for Brito. Good steal.
Big chance for Navarro here. Fastball inside, full count.
You see Mexico already has someone up. That is Wilson, Jared Wilson in the bullpen for Mexico. Short leashes for the starters. Both starters have really struggled.
Been a grind here for each one. And he walked him, and he, just like his counterpart, has walked the bases loaded. Rogers did that in the second. He was in better shape because he had 2 outs by the time he walked Casey to load him up. In this case, nobody out, and Robinson Cano was up.
Well, if you're Cano and you see first pitch fastball, you unbutton the jersey and just let it go.
Somebody's sitting home and saying, just walk 3 now.
I know, but you have a veteran in Cano, and if you see first pitch fastball, you get something to drive, and I think he will drive it somewhere, at least a sac fly. Anyone else, I'd say yes, absolutely. Let the pitcher struggle.
Cano is 2 for 21 in the series. He does have 2 doubles, 1 RBI. And a pitch, he does hit it to second base. They're going to try to turn 2. Wolanski to Mayfield, and on the first, and they do get the double play, and he did go after that first pitch.
And to your point, you could easily say, hey, just let him continue to stay in trouble and see if he'll walk guys, take that first pitch strike. But this is Robinson Cano. He has a chance to drive it somewhere. This is just a pitch on the outside part of the plate that he just rolled over on. And Cano doesn't run real well, so that's an easy double play. But they do score 1.
They do get 1. Mexico will take it. They can try and get out of this inning now after staring at a bases loaded, no out jam. If Banuelos can get Gutierrez, runner is at third base. Gutierrez has 2 RBIs. He's 5 for 15 in the series. Big Kelvin, reinforcement. He had his major league debut with the Royals. Also played with Baltimore a few years ago. That pitch is outside, 2-0. Gutierrez made his major league debut on April 27th of 2019. And of all people, got a 5-4-3 double play in the field off Albert Pujols. He was playing over at third base, so he turned to double play on his manager right now. Also snared a 104-mile-an-hour liner from Mike Trout in that debut, and had a 2-run single. So a very memorable debut for him. Kansas City won that game 9-4. A ground ball chopped to shortstop. Mayfield makes the play, and Mexico feels very, very good about getting out of that inning with just 1 run against. But DR takes the lead as we go to the bottom of the third.
Baseball is back.
Welcome back to Mexicali. I'm Craig Benervini with Jeff Nelson. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Dominican Republic has grabbed the lead on a double play. Cano does not get the RBI, but Mexico's got to feel awesome that they got out of that jam, allowing just one run. Here's Billy Hamilton to lead it off in the third.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the bunt, especially if you're third baseman Adames. And also Navarro, the first baseman. I'm sure looks like he's going back. Hamilton can fly. These first two guys in the Mexico lineup, Hamilton and Martin, you want to try to keep them off base.
Benjigil went back to putting Martin in the 1-2 spot. Hamilton first, Martin second. Martin earlier in the series was batting lower in the lineup. You're going speed. This is, hate to bring up Pierre and Castillo to you, Nelly, but this is that kind of.
No, it is,
top.
and that's why I was actually going to bring it up as well, because it's, for a pitcher, and we go over the hitters in our meeting every time we have a series. It's not like it is now. It's like a whole bulletin board of analytics and stuff going up there.
Yeah.
But I mean, we would have the hitters meetings, and the one thing, the top two guys in Castillo, you say, hey, they're going to bunt. They're probably going to get on. You just have to make sure you hold them at first, and you have to be good about holding runners to give your catcher a chance to throw them out. You would love to keep those guys off the base, but the top two speed guys in a lineup, and that probably was one of the reasons why they won the World Series in 03 with those two guys up the top.
They had great years. Juan Pierre, of course, was one of the best bunters in baseball history. Nobody worked harder at it than him.
And you knew that they were going to bunt. I mean, they were every single game. If it wasn't once, it was twice, but they were going to do it at some point.
And then the speed factor. Swing and a miss. Got him on the fastball. Castillo wound up, I think it was a 35-game hitting streak. I believe the longest in Marlins history around that time, the early 2000s. So Hamilton's over 2. He struck out both times. And that'll bring on the second speedster in Rudy Martin.
See, the one thing speed does, and analytics doesn't, gauge this, is what it does to a pitcher as far as the mentality. You get a guy on first base that can run. Advantage sometimes hitter, because then you wind up paying way too much attention to that runner at first, trying to hold him on, keep him close, and then you wind up making a mistake to the hitter.
Rudy Martin 0 for 1. He's 8 for 18 in the series. Scored 6 runs, 4 stolen bases. He told me he's a free agent right now. Swing and a miss. He did have he has a deal with the Tijuana Toros for the summer, but of course he's trying to get into a big league camp. He said, "Hey, I'm 29. I'm ready. I could play." He had 78 steals in the Atlantic League for the York Revolution, hit .326 this past year. And this has been a great stage for him.
No, all you want is just an opportunity to have a big league club take you to big league spring training. And then anything can happen. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe he doesn't make the team and goes to AAA, or maybe they release him or whatever, but just an opportunity to be able to show his passion for the game and his skill set. He's a really good outfielder. He can run. Offensively is the question.
2-2 count. The Royals' 25th round pick, did get as high as AAA in his career, and he takes strike 3, and that's the 4th strikeout for a suddenly settling down Esmail Rogers.
Well, we've seen that outside part of the plate, especially against a lefty. Colon, the home plate umpires, really giving about 2 to 3 inches on that outside part. Now you see it's not a strike, it's a ball, but he's been consistent with that pitch there, and it's always gone the pitcher's way. See, 86 miles an hour on the two-seamer.
Michael Wolanski is the hitters. Had an excellent series for Team Mexico, 7 for 20. But one thing that has been elusive for the Mexican team, they have not hit a home run. Only one of the semifinal teams not to have at least one homer. In fact, they came in hitting only .232. They've been riding their pitching. They've allowed only 5 runs in 5 games coming in. So six runs overall now in this their 6th game.
Yeah, pitching has been outstanding, and I'm sure Benji Gill, if Benuelos gets in trouble that next inning, he's not going to hesitate to go to that bullpen. And even Albert Pujols, you see 60 pitches so far for Rogers. How much more can he give you? We've seen about, 80 pitches, I think, from starting pitchers in this series. It might be another inning, and he might be done.
3-1 pitch to Wolanski. He takes ball 4. Only one thing Wolanski told me when I talked to him the other day, he said, have we surprised anybody? Maybe. He said, but it's great to see the Mexican Winter League step up like this, because he wonders how the other leagues perceive the Mexican League. They got the best of the best from their country now playing, because you don't see as many Mexican players in the major leagues
exactly,
as the other leagues.
Exactly. And even
Wolanski offers. I think he said yes. He did swing. Robert Nunez, the umpire. Wolanski's 27 years of age. He said, yeah, so we probably are potentially surprising the other teams. Oh, 2 pitch. Fouled back.
when they came to Lone Depot Park, Mexico, we thought they were one of the powerhouses. They started out really poorly, and they didn't get into the finals when they were 2-4.
Yep.
They started out 0-2.
Yeah, then they lost that game to Panama, a walk-off. They had a 3-1 lead on Panama and lost 4-3 in the 3rd game in the 9th inning. That was a devastating loss, so they should have at least been 1-2.
Yeah, offensively, I think they were a lot better last year. Their pitching wasn't as great, even though they had the no-hitter. I mean, they had a no-hitter this year, an 8-inning walk-off against Japan. A lot better pitching staff this year Mexico has.
Beat the Dominican Republic 9-1 a year ago in the Caribbean Series, but as Nelly mentioned, did not make the semifinal matchup. They had 7 teams last year, 5 this year. Thought is to add more teams, though, as the years go on, the invitees, other than the Big Four. Curveball ripped, grabbed at third base on the fly, and Adames makes another great play. Christian Adames has been the reason Mexico's off the board through 3. El Escogido from the Dominican Republic against Charros de Jalisco from Mexico. Francisco Mejia singled his first time up. This team, Escogido, has won 4 of the overall 22 championships by their country, Dominican Republic. Jalisco has never won the Caribbean Series. A little added cherry on top of the sundae if they can win this game for Team Mexico.
Well, let's see if Benuelos can have an easy inning. He's had traffic every single inning, escaped the bases loaded, nobody out jam.
Apologize for the technical difficulty. Big swing and a miss, struck him out. Yeah, he needs to have a good inning here.
Well, good changeup down and away. You see Hurtado, he wanted the ball away. Nice movement on that changeup, that circle change. Benuelos escaped the bases loaded, nobody out jam with only giving up that 1 run there in the top of the 3rd.
Remember the championship game here. This is single elimination, 1 and you're done. In terms of they've played a week to get here, 4 games in the round robin, and that determined the 4 semifinalists. And then it's just single elimination and move on, do or die. No time to recover.
Well, today's game would be do or die. This is
Yes,
it. This is the
that's
final
it.
wonder.
It can't go anywhere. It's different, though. Not everybody knows the format, Nelly, is that ground balls to Mayfield. Different than the earlier part of the tournament when you could lose a game or 2 and get in. The Dominican Republic was 2-2. If you follow.
Final game, somebody's losing, somebody's winning.
That's it.
And then they're done.
No chance.
There's no tomorrow.
In other words, you can't have a bad inning, or you could be done. Liberato is the batter, and that's why the managers are going to be very careful with the pitchers and probably have some short leashes, especially from this point on here in the middle innings. I'm not sure of the site in 27, but they do have them a few years out. Last year they set attendance records at Lone Depot Park, home of the Marlins in Miami.
I would like to see more teams. Like last year they had 7. I would even like to see 8. 5. I mean, 5. When you have Japan, it was a great experience for them. You could see how happy those kids were, and they were all young. Or for the most part, they were young, but overmatched. Not a whole lot of pop in that lineup. I think we were talking about 2 extra base hits.
That's it.
Out of the
the
games that they played, and the pitching, they had a hard time with the command.
Hit in the air, shallow left field, diving over there, off the glove of Martin. And Liberato trying to get the second, and they get him. Good recovery for Mexico as Liberato was trying to stretch it on that looping hit into a double.
Yeah, and that was just misplayed by Martin in left field. Nice throw, good recovery. I wonder if he got him. Did he miss the tag? I mean, it was there. The throw was there. There you see Liberato. He said, hey, we got to check this out.
So I got to look at what you're seeing here. I thought it was clearly out.
And Martin just misplayed that ball. Hung back just a little bit. Probably didn't think it was going to. your challenge, it wins it, then you carry the 2, you
Right.
keep the 2. But why not is right. I don't know if he gets another. Throw is there.
He stops.
You
Look at the
have
slide.
to
He
bring
kinda
that
stopped.
tag.
The question is, did you see enough to, like, from this
This is a
angle?
good
it doesn't
angle.
look
Looks
like
safe.
he's hitting him. Does the glove hit him on the leg?
Throws there. Outstanding job picking that ball. I think he gets in.
Did he get the front of the toe on the way in?
This
The
might be a
front of the
really
toe.
good angle right here. The
Front of the
throw's
left
there. No. We haven't seen a call overturned yet. Everybody's pretty much not enough evidence to overturn. I think this one gets overturned. I just don't see a tag. You see the tag, but he's on the
I
base.
see a tag right there.
So you look, does the glove fold?
The glove just has
Does
to
it
touch his
bend?
leg. Is that correct?
Well, right. Does it bend? He might. That was slow. They may. I don't know. I'm still staying with it.
To your point, it does have to overturn the call in the field,
Right.
and the call in the field was out. I think he nudges that blue part of the
Sock.
the sanitary sock. Yeah,
Maybe.
boy, you can't get closer.
I'll tell you what. If you could, that's a perfect opportunity to head first slide right there and do a little swim move.
Swim
But
move,
if you're
you're
not
in.
comfortable in doing that, you got to go feet first.
I think he was surprised that he
Yeah,
is
they got
out.
him.
No problem, Nelly.
You won.
1-0. That's the score in a couple of spots in the booth and on the field.
Baseball's top college prospects get their chance to shine at the MLB Desert
5-0, trying to become the 14th team to go undefeated in the long history of the Caribbean Series and win the championship. Jack Mayfield walked his first time up. Tigres del Licey has done it 3 times. They lead the 13 teams. Did it in 71, 77, and also 1991, winning all 6 games the first 2 times and going 5-0 the next time. Good catch there by Navarro. If you're the DR, you happy with the way the game has gone so far?
Well, they've escaped some games. We would have loved to score a few more runs with bases loaded, nobody out. But you got to like the way Rogers is settling down just a little bit. He had some problems in that second inning. He's had traffic as well. Had a 1-2-3 first. The pitches, though, is a concern for me. 68 pitches here in the 4th. You know, if he can get an easy inning, he's giving you 5. So that's what you like.
You favor the Mexican pen, probably the way we've seen him so far, over the DR pen.
Yeah, I think the DR needs to score a few more runs. I don't think 1-0 is going to do it. I don't think 1 run is going to do it for the DR, especially with the way their bullpen is pitched over the last 3 games.
That ball was tailing, and Ornelas hit it. Looked like it went right on the top of the left leg of Mejia.
Yeah, I think it missed the shin guard and got him right on top of that leg.
Jose Valentin is the trainer out to chat with Mejia.
The old-time cold spray. And just spray it on the leg. Okay, let's go.
They still have that?
I don't know.
The
I don't
freeze.
think so. Yeah.
What was that stuff? You saw it. You never saw it anywhere but a baseball field.
Well, it was the stuff that would freeze. It was
Come out
instantly numb. It would open up the canister and
spray can.
Spray it on you.
Driven to left center, going over there, making the grab is the outstanding athletic Junior Lake. That was well hit by Ornelas.
That was a staple in the trainer's holster. They would have like a holster and they would have the cold spray. Anytime somebody had an injury, they're coming out, they spray it on the ankle, spray it on the wrist, whatever. Hey,
a lot of people became trainers because of that.
Yeah.
You just get the freeze
instant
kid,
fix.
You got the gig.
Yeah, you didn't have to move the wrist or move the leg. I think I sprained my ankle. I would get the cold spray out, spray it up. You're good. Let's go.
My old friend Tommy Craig got into training. He was a great trainer for the Blue Jays over the years from Wilmington, North Carolina. Very good with the freeze. You're good with that freeze spray.
Yes, you last a long time.